Whether you sail a tiny wooden boat or an enormous expedition yacht doesn't matter. Sailing lets us reach places that are inaccessible to others ashore. And whether that place is close to home or further afield, we get a unique perspective on some truly beautiful places. Sailors have always come back through the centuries and told stories about their voyages, and those stories have shaped our understanding of the world in which we live. From proving that the world is round, to understanding the measurement of time itself. One sailor who used his passion for sailing to tell amazing stories was Brian Black. Brian was a broadcaster and a journalist, and he sailed often to the Arctic and used these voyages to document climate change firsthand, decades before it was a household topic.
With round-the-clock daylight, there was no sense of day or night, so we went where we pleased. Svartheisen Glacier took our fancy. It was here you could actually see the effects of global warming. The ice was retreating, back significantly on previous years. Local people were convinced the thaw was accelerating. This was the best summer on record for nearly 20 years. Even with that, the melt was greater than anyone could remember.
The last 10 years I've sailed most parts of the polar seas, and I suppose the reaction when you make a landfall like this is something the same every time. It's a sense of wonder, of awe, and the sense of privilege that we can make it to these places as a result of small boats like this, of crew who are willing to endure the hardships of long ocean passages, of the cold, the difficulties, the fear, yes, it's there too, but also that wonderful sense of exhilaration when you do finally make your landfall, and all this is left to explore.
These are the shores of Spitsbergen, less than 700 miles from the North Pole. Once these waters were on the migration route for the big whales. It seems now they're moving away from the traditional tracks. The krill and fish they depend on have moved off due to changing water temperatures. These elements are all associated with our lifestyle, and part of the reason I was back in the Arctic, in places I've been before, to see for myself how fast the changes are happening. With our boat safely anchored amidst the stunning beauty of Magdalena Fjord, I went to film the nearby Gully Breen Glacier. 3 years ago there were signs of accelerating melt. This time there was no doubt. The glacier was in retreat. Scientists reckon it's lost around 10% of its mass in a decade. There's a natural fluctuation in our climate, but the last century has seen greater warming than over thousands of years. That's because of the greenhouse gases we pump into the atmosphere. And as the ice sheet melts, more water is exposed and more land uncovered, so the Earth absorbs more heat, leading to more dramatic and unpredictable events. One of those events nearly cost me my life. The relatively stable toe of Gully Breen suddenly debouched. First one massive ice wall, then in quick succession another. I was told later by scientists such events could well be a warning of the havoc to come as climate change really gets going. The pictures break up and we go to still images as the camera and me are swept away in a series of huge waves. I felt sure I was going to die. The damage we are doing to our planet, very nearly a personal disaster for me.
Brian and his wife Leslie, who was a trailblazing sailor in her own right, died sadly in 2020 and 2019 respectively. And in their memory and in conjunction with their family, Yachting Monthly decided to set up a Marine Environmental Journalism Award. We wanted the award to encourage sailors to tell stories that we think need to be heard on a platform that they can be shared widely. The award is sponsored kindly by marine electronics company B&G, and it's supported by a panel of judges that includes a number of preeminent sailors. And here to tell me why this award really matters and why these stories matter is offshore racing sailor Mike Golding.
I think pretty much everyone knows that we're on the brink of an environmental and climate crisis. However, the vast majority of people will never experience being out at sea, nor do they get to go to the places that only a yacht can reach. Those of us that sail or use the water also experience a special connection to our changing planet. Over many decades, I've witnessed the loss of reliability of the weather, and while advances in weather forecasting, have helped mask the change, there's no doubt to me that the global weather has changed and is changing ever faster. At the same time, I've seen the growing evidence of human-induced environmental damage, even in some of the most remote parts of our planet. Seeing the evidence of change is one thing, but being able to write up those experiences allows sailors and non-sailors alike to understand better what is happening to our ocean environment. Environmental journalism, which conveys not just the beauty of our oceans and the wildlife that we see, but also these changes and the damage that humanity is doing to our planet. So quality writing is quite simply the ammunition for the fight back to increase our knowledge, reduce our impact, and encourage positive, sustainable behaviours. I'm delighted to be one of the judges for the Yachting Monthly Brian Black Memorial Award, which celebrates and rewards new marine environmental journalists from the unique perspective that can only be achieved from the decks of a yacht. Thank you.
Sarah Brown, Brian and Leslie's daughter, is a sailor and environmentalist in her own right, and she told me how the award came about and what it means to her.
I came up with the idea of the award after losing my parents. I thought about writing an article to celebrate their sailing and environmental careers, but ironically enough, Dad's last piece for Yachting Monthly was a retrospective on his sailing career, so that was out. As a lifelong environmental campaigner myself, I knew that I wanted to continue Dad's work raising awareness about climate change and biodiversity loss. It's only as my career has developed that I've realised just how ahead of his time he was talking about these issues. So I started thinking about an award of some sort, something which could bring new talent into environmental journalism and shine a light on the issues which matter. At Mum and Dad's house, there were a few of Dad's sailing trophies, the Faulkner Challenge Cup and the Rockabill Trophy from the Irish Cruising Club, and also his Environmental Journalism of the Year award. Looking at those, I realised that some awards mean more than others. Those given to you by your peers and those you respect, they mean something more than just another gong, as Dad would have called it. So talking to Theo, we put together the idea of the award, and I can see Mum in my mind's eye now, smiling wryly at me. She'd be proud in that way that only mums can. She would say that I had a brass neck and an eye for a chance, just like my dad. But honestly, she'd be pleased to see their work continue. Dad, well, he'd probably puff his chest out, and whilst being secretly delighted, would scoff and scold me and tell me that under no circumstances would he be wearing a tie for the awards ceremony.
This year we are adding a video prize to the award to reflect Brian's work in broadcast and the amazing videos that so many sailors are creating these days. The award is going to focus on coastal biodiversity this year. There is a £2,000 prize for the best video. So if you are going sailing and you think you've got a story to tell about coastal biodiversity, we would love to hear from you. For more information about how to enter, click here or go to the description below. We are looking for videos between 7 and 10 minutes in length, and they should be created by the person who submits them to us. So wherever you are sailing this summer, I wish you fair winds, and I can't wait to see your videos.